All right, let's dive into one of the most common and honestly, most controversial techniques you'll see in the gym, the mixed grip deadlift. For so many people, it's the absolute key to unlocking their heaviest pulls, but it might also be secretly setting you up for some serious injury and imbalance down the road. So we're gonna break it all down and figure out if this thing is your greatest strength or your biggest weakness.
So let me just start by asking you this. Is it possible that the very technique letting you lift your absolute max weight is also creating a massive long-term problem? It's a weird paradox, right? And it's one a lot of lifters are dealing with and they don't even know it. We're going to get into exactly why this happens, and way more importantly, what you can do about it.
Okay, so to really get why the mixed grip is so popular, we first have to understand the problem it's trying to solve. Because trust me, every single person who gets serious about deadlifting eventually smacks right into the exact same wall.
And that wall, it's your grip. It is the classic weak link in the chain. I mean, think about it. Your legs, your hips, your entire back. That's your posterior chain, and it's got some of the biggest, most powerful muscles in your whole body. They can move an incredible amount of weight. But your hands? They just can't keep up. The barbell literally wants to roll right out of your fingers long before your back and legs are even thinking about getting tired.
So, what are your options then? Well, you've got the standard double overhand grip. It feels the most natural, sure, but it's also the weakest when it comes to stopping that bar from rotating. Then you've got the hook grip. Now this one is super secure, but let's be real, it is brutally painful to get used to. And finally, the double underhand grip? Yeah, we don't even talk about that one. The risk of tearing both bicep tendons is just way too high. So you can see the dilemma, right? It leads lifters everywhere to look for a better way.
And that better way for millions of lifters is the mixed grip. It is the go-to #1 solution for that grip problem, and you know what? It's popular for a really good reason.
The genius of the mixed grip is just simple physics. You have one palm facing forward, that's supinated, and one palm facing back, that's pronated. So the bar wants to roll out of your overhand grip one way, but it wants to roll out of your underhand grip the other way. These two opposing forces just cancel each other out, and boom, the bar is locked into your hands. It's a brilliant, simple fix, but it absolutely comes with a cost.
And this is where we get to the real heart of the issue. The very thing that makes the mixed grip so ridiculously effective, having your hands in opposite positions, is also its greatest weakness. Let's dig into the dangers of this asymmetry. So here's the bottom line. Using a mixed grip is, by its very nature, an unbalanced and asymmetrical position. Your arms are doing two totally different jobs. And your body, which is incredibly smart, will always find a way to compensate for that imbalance. But those little compensations, rep after rep, workout after workout, year after year, they can lead to a whole cascade of problems.
Let's start with the scariest one, the immediate risk of a bicep tendon tear. It almost always happens on that underhand arm. See, when your arm is stretched out straight under a heavy load, that tendon is already pulled tight like a guitar string. If you then even slightly try to curl the weight up, or if you make a huge jump in weight your body isn't ready for, that tendon can just snap. It is a catastrophic, season-ending injury that can happen in the blink of an eye.
But the risks aren't all about a sudden dramatic injury. The long-term stuff is way more sneaky. First up, your rotator cuff. To keep your shoulder stable in that less secure underhand position, the rotator cuff on that side has to work way harder. Now, this doesn't mean it's going to get bigger, but it creates what we call a neurological imbalance. Your brain literally rewires itself to fire the muscles on one side more than the other, and that can start to throw off the balance of all your other lifts, like your bench press or your overhead press. And you can see how the body starts to compensate. Because that underhand side is less stable, your body just gets smart. It unconsciously shifts more of the workload over to the more stable overhand side. Over time, you might notice the trap muscle on that overhand side getting visibly bigger, sometimes even causing a slight shoulder hike. At the same time, the lat on that same side is firing harder, which can eventually start to pull on your pelvis and create a hip shift when you lift. You are literally training your body to pull crooked.
Okay, so we know the risks. It sounds pretty bad, right? But it doesn't mean we have to ditch the mixed grip for good. It just means we have to be a whole lot smarter about how we use it. So let's get to the solution. Let's talk about how to build a safer, more balanced pull right from the start. Here are 4 cues you need to burn into your brain for every single rep. 1. Set the bar on your callus line, not way back deep in your palm. 2, pull your shoulders down and back away from your ears. But number 3, this is the real game changer. Actively try to rotate both of your arms outward, like you're trying to show off your biceps to someone in front of you. For the underhand arm, this takes the strain off that bicep tendon. For the overhand arm, it helps balance the tension across your lats. And finally, number 4, you initiate the pull with your legs and hips, not by yanking with your arms.
This right here, this is the single most important mental image you can possibly have for the deadlift. Your arms are not movers, they are just chains, they are ropes connecting you to the bar. Your only job is to get them tight, to pull the slack out of the bar so it clicks, and then you drive the floor away with those powerful legs and hips. Thinking this way is what protects your biceps and makes sure the right muscles are doing all the work.
Now, perfect technique is absolutely crucial, rep by rep. But that's only half the battle. To really prevent these imbalances from creeping in over months and years, you need a smart, long-term strategy. How you program your mixed grip is every bit as important as how you actually perform it.
So let's break this down by where you're at in your lifting journey. If you're a beginner, listen up. Just don't use it yet. Stick with the double overhand grip, build up that foundational strength, and nail your form. Now, for you intermediates, and this is probably most of us, here is the absolute key. When you start using the mixed grip, you must alternate which hand is over and which is under on every single set. This is the best way to stop imbalances before they even start. And for you advanced lifters who might need it for those max effort singles, you should be using straps for your higher rep work and hammering unilateral accessory exercises to fight any imbalances that pop up.
So, to put it all together, here is your long-term checklist for building a balanced body. First, alternate your grip on every working set. It's non-negotiable. Second, use lifting straps for your volume work to give your hands a break and just focus on pulling with good form. Third, you've got to do unilateral work. That means single arm rows, single arm presses, things that force each side of your body to work on its own. And last, to be extra safe, strengthen those bicep tendons with some light, slow, controlled curls to build up their resilience.
At the end of the day, the mixed grip is a powerful tool. But like any powerful tool, you can misuse it. It can build your strongest lift, or it can create your biggest weakness. The choice really comes down to your technique, your programming, and your awareness. So the question isn't whether the grip itself is good or bad. The real question is, are you going to take the steps to master it, or are you going to let it master you?